Hi guys, Mary Beth Temple here from Hooked for Life, and in this video we're going to take a closer look at the Bellis Cancellos keyhole scarf. So this is a very luscious, soft scarf. It is knit in a variation of the Daisy or Marguerite stitch, which is what I want to show you in this video. And I made it using 3 skeins of baby alpaca DK from King Cole. And I will have a link down there in the description so you can figure out how to get this yarn from Lovecrafts if your local yarn store doesn't have it. Now, to be clear, this is not a sponsored video, but I am a King Cole brand ambassador, so I use quite a bit of their yarns in my videos. Lastly, if you want the full written out pattern, it is on the blog. I will toss a link in the description down there too. But let's get going to the knitting, which is all anybody cares about, right? So I have made a tiny little swatch so that you don't have to look at that big giant scarf while I'm going. And the reason I said that this was a variation on the Daisy or Marguerite stitch is traditionally when you learn it, there are these little trios, I call them. Traditionally when you learn it, the daisies stagger like they do here, but there is 1 stitch between the daisy trios, not 3. And on this variation, there are 3 in between. I like it better. I think it knits a little faster because the daisy stitches can slow you down if you're used to a different rhythm. And I think it's pretty cool how the texture comes out with this. It almost looks like it's cabled, and it's not. It almost looks like it has a cable twist in there. So I made this tiny little swatch so we can get going. So my swatch, like the scarf, has 3 knit stitches on either side. That's just for the border. And I also started with 6 rows of garter stitch to have my little 3-ridge border. So not for every iteration of this stitch, but for this scarf, you're always going to begin and end with knit 3. So we're going to knit 3. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to work into the next 3 stitches together. It starts like a knit 3 together, but it's not a decrease, and I'll show you why. So I've inserted my right hand needle tip into those 3 stitches as one. I'm going to knit 1 through those 3 stitches. I'm not going to push it off the left hand. I'm going to yarn over, bringing the yarn from the back to the front between and over the right hand needle. And I'm going back in those same 3 stitches and doing another knit 1. So because it is not a decrease, but I am working in 3 stitches together, I have turned 3 stitches into 3 stitches. Knit 1, yarn over, knit 1. Then I'm going to knit the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Here's my DS, is how I've abbreviated in my pattern just for daisy stitch. I'm going to insert my right hand needle through 3 stitches together. Again, you start it as if you're going to do a knit 3 together. Then it's knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, all in the same 3 stitches. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to act like I'm doing a knit 3 together. Knit 1, yarn over, knit in the same 3 stitches, knit 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so there's the first row of my 4-row repeat. Rows 2 and 4 are the same. And these are all my wrong side rows unless I'm doing a garter stitch ridge. It's knit 3, 1, 2, 3, purl across until 3 stitches remain, and then knit the last 3 stitches. So we're just going to purl across, remember, this is a teeny tiny swatch and your scarf will be much bigger. I think I cast on 45 for this. But again, you can click on the link below and grab the free pattern right off the blog. Keep going till you have 3 stitches left. And knit the last 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, for my third row, we're going to begin with that knit 3. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to knit 3. So look how close that daisy stitch is to the needle. That's a little visual cue that I'm not going to make another daisy stitch there yet. See how far down that is from the needle? We've got a couple rows in there. That's where that daisy stitch is going to go. So we're going to knit 1, yarn over, knit 1 through all 3 stitches at once, knit 3. So the only difference between the 2 right side rows is where you start. One of the right side rows starts with a daisy stitch and one of the right side rows starts with a knit 3. That is after, of course, the 3 garter stitch borders on the end. The other thing you might notice, and I'm doing this out of habit, but it's a good thing to know, I'm working pretty close to the tips, and the reason is to get that knitting needle through 3 stitches at the same time. That's pretty tight. So if you slide it up a little bit, there's more room, because that's where the needle goes down to a point. I'm also using lace tip needles, and I would strongly suggest, if you're going to attempt any daisy or Marguerite stitch pattern, that you use the pointiest needles you have, because you need the room on the points to get in there, to get into all 3 stitches at once. So there is the next wrong side row. Pardon me, right side row. We're going to do one more wrong side row. Knit 3. Purl across until 3 stitches remain, and then knit the last 3. Now, sometimes if you knit a little tight going forward, the 3 stitches in the daisy stitch grab on top of each other. I just spread them apart with my fingers so I can see the order in which to knit them. But again, not a difficult stitch once you get the hang of it. I'm going to end my wrong side row with a knit 3. We're back to the next right side row. I'm going to knit 3. I'm going to see how far that daisy stitch is. So on this row, I'm going to start with the daisy stitch. So the right side rows go knit 3, daisy stitch, knit 3 all the way across. The wrong side rows are knit 3, purl across until 3 stitches remain, knit 3. The other right side row is knit 3, and then knit 3, daisy stitch all the way across until you have 6 stitches left, and you're going to knit those last 6 stitches. So once again, this pattern is all written out on the blog. Now, if you came here to learn how to do the daisy or the Marguerite stitch, you're good. You can hang up or go away or scroll off now. I want to just talk for those of you that are really interested in making the scarf. So if you look at the pattern, it says knit in pattern until the piece is 22 inches. I'll be 100% honest. Since I had 3 skeins of this yarn, and I knew that 3 skeins was all I had, plus I don't like to waste alpaca yarn, you know what I mean? So I'll be 100% honest, I just knit in pattern until my second skein was gone, knowing that I had to hold the whole of the 3rd skein back for the side on the other side of the keyhole opening. Now, the other thing I want to point out, the keyhole opening is not the entire width of the scarf, because what happens if you do that is it tends to flap way open and it's not appealing. So what I did when I got to the end of my second skein of yarn, I knit 6 rows for this side of the keyhole. I knit 12, I bound off 18, I knit 12, coming back, I knit 12, I cast on those missing 18, I knit 12, I knit 6 more rows to get my 3 garter stitch ridges to match the other side, and then I think I began with a wrong side row and then just went in pattern until I had 10 inches or was almost out of yarn. Then you're going to knit 5 rows to get your 3 garter stitch ridges, knowing that you will finish up your last ridge when you bind off knitwise. So that's really all there is to the pattern. So the King Cold, this is the Damson colorway. I really just like the depth of color in this. If you look at it, there's little orangey gold flecks in there and a little bit of green that you can see. So this has 110 yards on each skein, so I used all 330 yards. I really did. So you can, of course, use this pattern as regular scarf. If you don't want the keyhole, you can just knit until the scarf is as long as you want it. And if you want to, again, if you want to go with a larger piece, if you want more hang down in the front, then I would knit longer. I would knit more than 22 inches before I put my keyhole in. And then I would make my keyhole a little longer so that the 2 sides that come down the front are similar. They don't have to be the exactly same size. There is no scarf police. But all you're going to do then is bring it through that keyhole, and it's going to scrunch up a little bit, and that's okay, because honestly, if that keyhole is too wide, it's floppy and it does not look fashionable. It looks like a train wreck. But you want the amount that pulls through to be about the same as the amount on the other side of the keyhole. And the last thing I want to point out about alpaca is super warm. A lot of people are, you know, oh, I want a 6-foot alpaca scarf. No, you don't. Unless you live in Alaska, that's too much heat. One of the things I like about this particular piece, it's super soft. The alpaca is super soft. I enjoy wearing it up next to my skin, but I also don't have to knit the same pattern for 87 years because honestly, if it was much longer than this, it would be too warm. I only wear it when I go up north as it is. Now that I live in North Carolina, I don't get a lot of wear out of it. So that's all there is to the Bellis Cancellos keyhole scarf. And thank you so much for joining me. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, ask some questions, hit the blog, buy some yarn, yada, 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 whatever you want to do. I appreciate you guys coming by, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.